Hello everyone, thank you so much for coming back or for joining me. My name is Joanna and I am your intuitive medium and intuitive coach. These are going to be your readings for the month of May. I'm going to keep this very short and very brief. I want to say first and foremost, thank you. Thank you so much for joining me. Thank you for liking, for sharing, for subscribing to my videos. Please keep in mind these are general videos, so they may not apply to you. Some parts may apply to you, sometimes the entire thing may apply to you, and sometimes none of it will apply to you, and that's okay. Do watch your rising sign, your moon sign, and your sun sign, because these will often create a much clearer picture of what's going on in your life or how it's reflected in your particular case. If you would like a private session, that information is down below for you, and always remember that if you send me an email regarding how the readings pertain to you, I have no way of knowing that until I actually connect with you when I have a session with you. So if that is what you wish, that information is down below for you. Aside from the fact that May feels very significant, but I think I always say that everything is very significant, but there are some planetary changes happening in the month of May. The planet of Uranus is entering the sign of Taurus, and with that comes significant changes for the next little while. So be prepared to shift, to change, to evolve, to become much more enlightened, and a lot of the readings do reflect that. So without further ado, thank you so much again. Let's move on to your individual readings. I will see you soon. Hello beautiful Taurians, this is going to be a reading for the month of May 2018. Happy birthday to those of you who have your birthdays in May, and for those of you who had it in April, happy birthday to you as well. I am very excited about this reading, partly because I'm a Taurus. Also, there's this whole Uranus thing coming up for us in the middle of May, just in time for the mid-month reading. But there's something, there's an energy that I feel that is full of excitement. Like something is about to be born. Something is about to come out of its shell. Something is about to come out of its shadow or hiding. And I am being reminded that last month in April, that we had the cosmic egg, I believe that's what it was, which is all about things to come cracking open. And I feel you're just about there. I believe I've talked about May for probably since the beginning of this year, and I never really understood why. Once I realized that there is a Uranus coming into the month of Taurus for the next several years, it made sense to me that maybe that's how things are coinciding. But for a lot of you, this is about opening the curtains and allowing yourself to see much more than you have been able to see before. And that is a metaphor I will go into the detail in a moment. This numbers around you are one of new beginnings and changes, where whenever we have changes, there's always a beginning. And beginnings always insinuate changes. Whatever you're going through in the month of May, whatever you are having a challenge with in the month of May, nothing bad. We have a challenge that's very good, but also very, challenging. All of these things are meant to prepare you for being out there. Now, when I hear the word out there, I'm being shown television. So this is you being in public, this is you being on television, you being on YouTube, you being publicized or publicly noticed or publicly announced or publicly exposed. And when I say exposed, it doesn't mean for bad things, but there's something about to be born and come out of you. And perhaps some of you will be coming out of your shell. Perhaps you will feel you feel more comfortable in your own skin. For some of you, this is going to be a brand new beginning because there's a birth that is coming, but it's not necessarily your birth. It's a birth of somebody else. All of this is leading you to a much greater balance and harmony within yourself, which will ultimately be self-sustaining going forward. I saw you sharing fresh knowledge. As a matter of fact, what I did see is I saw and smelled fresh bread. So the bread was being given to me, and then I broke the bread in half and I gave it to different people. And this was showing me that in the month of May, many of you will feel like sharing your knowledge or newfound information with somebody else. This could be you being in a position of someone who shares valuable information with others as a job, or something that you do just, in passing. Point is, many of you are reaching to your back pockets, which is, to me, it's a metaphor for not using something at all times. You're reaching to your back pockets and choosing to give information to people that you didn't feel comfortable sharing with before, or felt you didn't have enough knowledge, or you didn't have enough information. And also for this, for the fear of failure, and the word judgment comes in. And I've talked to a lot of Tauruses over the last several months, particularly the last few weeks, and the whole idea of judgment is very prominent. Well, Taurus is ruled by the throat. Throat is all about expression. If we fear judgment, it will affect our expression. So, but I saw you in the month of May choosing to consciously share aspects of you have not shared before. This could be written as in a book. This could be sung as in a song. This could be a poem you write, or it's something that you make available for public to see. And that's how I'm going to leave it. I also saw that whatever it is that you are sharing is information that is ultimately meant to nourish the soul, nourish the mind, nourish the individual. So it is information that is connected to heart and soul. For some of you, this is going to mean esoteric work. For some of you, this is going to be as simple as nutrition and exercise. But there's definitely a nurturing type of information that you are choosing. The word choosing is underlined, being shared with the public. And the word public is being talked to me about, is being said to me. What else did I see? I also saw some of you looking at yourself in a paper. So this is something where you may be, I don't want to use the word exposed. I'm going to say exposed, but in a good way, noticed. Okay, again, the idea of being noticed. So you might have your picture posted in a paper. Yes, people still read newspapers. You may have your picture posted on some social media. You may have something written about you in social media out in the public. Point is that you are getting noticed, and the word noticed is being underlined. Some of you may actually see yourself on a magazine cover or in a paper in some way. Let's see, what else did I see here? Some of you are venturing into nature, and it was shown to me specifically for the purpose of recharging your batteries. So for many of you, you will feel drawn to nature. I certainly lately have been drawn to nature, especially lately. And for some of you, this is about you spending more time outside, particularly in nature, and also for some of you, water, because I see a forest and then I see a lake surrounded by the forest. So it doesn't have to be the forest; it could actually be a beach as well. But there's a need that needs to be fulfilled that has to do with being out in nature. For some of you, it's work in nature or wanting to work in nature. Nature is calling to me very strongly. Then I saw you deciding, do I go this way? Do I go that way? Do I go this way? Do I go that way? So this to me speaks of opportunities, whether these opportunities are presenting themselves in May or the month of June, or they have already presented themselves to you. You are looking forward to making an important decision. And these are choices. These are not decisions that I feel are being forced upon you. The word choices is being shown to me. It's almost as if you are getting two different choices and you are figuring out which one you want to pick. This could be the direction you want to take. This could be an apartment you want to buy. This could be anything. But there is an excitement around choosing or making an important choice. This is when I say important, it's not just that you're going to store and buying a pair of shoes and you're deciding between two pairs. Yes, that could be, but it's more than that. Okay, so that was shown to me and it was fantastic. Then for some of you, I saw you being like a mediator. You were giving information and you were dealing with different kind of people. These people were looking up to you and you had the resources, skills, and knowledge in order to be able to give them what they need in order to have some peace and happiness. So for some of you, you might be in a position of a lawyer or an advocate. You may be in a position of a mediator. You may be a counselor. You may also see these people or seek guidance from these people, but I feel this is more you. And for some of you, this is the nature of your work. In some way, shape, or form, you have the ability, creativity, and knowledge and skills combined with your experience to give people information that will make them feel better than before. Okay, so again, that can transpire various ways with each and every one of you. We talked about the bread. Okay, I kept smelling a loaf of bread. For some of you, I feel like it's a loved one coming through. I want to say the word grandparent and mother coming through, and she liked to bake. For some of you, the smell of bread reminds you of something very, very, very specific. I'm also seeing a dog with this. So I don't know why I'm smelling this. Probably it's for various reasons. For those of you who resonate with the fresh baked bread as a memory, as a very significant memory of your past, a happy one, that's what was being shown. Now, also, I saw some of you awaiting results, and you were kind of just standing there and waiting. It's almost like you are waiting for your ships to come. You have done the hard work, you have planted the seeds, you have watered the plants, and now you're waiting for the fruit of your labor, so to speak, to show itself to you. But the way it was shown to me is you were very relaxed about it. In other words, you were not, oh my God, when is it coming? You were more like chilled and just waiting for things to come, predominantly because of the knowing that you have that it will. So that was beautiful. It was shown to me. And it had a lot to do with stability, whether it's financial, whether it's emotional, whether it was, job-wise, career-wise, a relationship, whatever it is. But it had to do with firming up or affirming your stability. Now, let's move on with the cards. Your animal spirit cards, brilliant. I just love, love, love these cards. You have two. The buffalo is number 1 and the firefly is the number 2. So buffalo energy is about the deep sense of knowing that both good or bad are meant to guide us in the right direction, and everything happens for the greatest purpose. So the buffalo energy, if you look at his eyes, there is this peace in his eyes, as if to say, I know more than what I can see. So what this is saying here is use the energy of a buffalo to get you through some tough times, perhaps, that you have been experiencing, knowing that everything happens for a reason, though we may not have the reason shown to us just yet. And it typically doesn't happen until we look hindsight and then we can see. And I believe I talked about that at the very beginning. So this is about knowing that although there are some uncomfortable moments, there always are some uncomfortable moments, these uncomfortable moments will eventually lead you to a greater good. So it's almost like I want to say, the strength you have spiritually, use that to ground you. And when we go through transitions, as we all are, sometimes things can get hairy. But I'm not seeing anything hairy clearly. There's great things that I'm seeing. But this is about resilience to me. The firefly is an energy of a burst. And you can see this firefly it's bursting. And what it's saying here is, you will have an opportunity, energetically speaking, when many things can be manifested. It's almost as if you're walking into an energy pool and the energy pool says, what do you want? If you name it, you can have it. So the message here is, In a month of May, don't miss an opportunity to seize the moment, whether it is because something comes to you unexpectedly and it takes you by surprise and you don't know what to do with it, so you shove it on the side, whether you hear something, whether you are drawn to something. There's definitely a feel of something being bursting again, but not missing the opportunity. That's what I want to say. The next card you have as a focus card is Observer in Protection. So this is making sure that you don't get too stuck on your old ideas to the point that you can't see anything but that. As we move into different territories and as we move into different frequencies, the old ways will have to go to allow for the new to enter our room. So if there is something in the month of May that you are stubbornly stuck to, notice if your idea perhaps needs some upgrade. Perhaps a vision of your idea looks a certain way, and in your imagination, this is the only way it has to look. But that may not be the best way for you. So this is about not getting too stuck on an idea that it makes it very rigid. In other words, expand your horizons. Okay, the next card you have is Loyal Heart. So this is all about trust and betrayal, and this card is very similar to this card, and it is about the message of, are you too stuck to your old outdated beliefs that it actually prevents you from moving forward without even knowing it? So these two cards are very similar. Now, because this is being addressed twice, these cards basically speak of the same thing. It makes me feel like this is exactly the moment that you can seize by looking at old, outdated beliefs and ideas and allowing or choosing to let it go in order for something new to be born. Okay, so a lot of it is about here not clinging to the past anymore, not clinging to the old way of thinking, believing, not clinging to the old idea of you or a relationship or a job. He said, explain what you mean. Okay, for example, let's say I want to make a significant difference in the world, okay? And let's say my idea of that is I have to be a book writer, okay? And that is my idea, and that's what I'm going to cling to. Anything other than that, I'm not interested. I just want to be an author because I want to make a difference to the world. Well, the reality is that you being an author may not be the best way for me to make a difference in the world. I may be able to make a difference in some different way, but because I haven't thought about it yet, it keeps me stuck in my own parameters. And those ideals are actually very rigid, which means they're very confining, which means they're very limiting. So that's an example. So in other words, the universe may come to me and say, hey, Joanna, I know you want to make a difference to the world, and I know you really want to write a book, but you know what? That actually doesn't come to you as easy as channeling. You might want to do that instead. And I go, oh, okay, I haven't thought about that. And all of a sudden, my idea just changes, or it opens up to different opportunity and possibilities. So that is the example I am being given to you, just to kind of help you understand what I mean, because, well, he told me to do so. All right. Now I have 4 cards. I said, show me 4 cards for May. What's going on with Taurus? Oh, brilliant. You have the 6 of Wands. This is all about victory. This is, I want to say the word status. In a month of May, this is what's coming to you. It may have already come to you late April or early May, but this is essentially how you are going to feel. For some of you, this is going to be June. Like I'm telling you, you guys are moving forward to a new beginning. So this person is facing his past. He's not facing his past. His back is facing his past. He's facing the future in how I look at it. So going forward, I almost want to say victory is assured, providing you take the right steps to get there, including seizing an opportunity that may become available to you as a surprise, okay? Or various other ways of how I can say it. So seize the opportunity. The next card you have is Five of Swords. This is all about letting go of all ideas, letting go of the old way of thinking, letting go of the old way of communicating, perhaps with anger and resentment and frustration, being open to change. Well, this is the same. Don't get too stuck in your old ideas. So this message is being repeated over and over and over. And for some of you, this is going to be regarding relationship. You have done certain things a certain way. You have behaved in a relation a certain way, but time has come where we call this thing evolution, is asking us to do things differently. Why? Because oftentimes if things are not working, if we continue to do them, they're not going to work, right? So it's about change. It's about, for some of it's about drastic change. I literally see somebody walking in, they drop their clothes, they become vulnerable and then move on. So this is about losing your old identity, the way you identify yourself, typically speaking in a way that is damaging and confining and restricting. Okay, so fantastic. You got the Magician. Brand new. You're about to be born. Magician is an individual that has all the tools and resources in order to be able to magically create anything he or she desires. This is the energy of the month of May. And this could tie in with 15th of May and, the new moon, or the full moon, one of the twos, and the Uranus, coming into the Taurus sign. It could very well signify that, but I've talked about this for months. There are new beginnings awaiting you, Taurus, and for some of you, they're monumental. That is the word I want to say. And for some of you, it's going to put you on a map, in a big scale. And again, I can give gazillion examples, but I feel this will do the trick. And last but not least, we have Three of Swords. This is about letting go of the past pain, past hurt, past resentment, past rejection, past lack of trust in others and ourselves. It's letting go of the pain that has been keeping you stuck. Okay, letting go of the old ideas, letting go of things connected to rejection, lack of trust, lack of belief in yourself because of what has happened. Now, whether this breakup, okay, could be a breakup, whether this happened years and years and years ago or it happened 2 weeks ago, it is about letting go, emotionally speaking, of the hurt and the pain that has happened some point ago or at some point ago, and so it doesn't affect you negatively any longer. Let me just see if there's anything else he wants me to say. I feel very excited. I'm seeing a torch, and to me, this is the Ace of Wands. So for a lot of you, this is inspiration. This is fire. This is starting something new that is connected to your passion, that you are fiery about, that you are fiercely protective of. Idea, a topic, a person. It could be, yes, it could also be a love situation. Absolutely. But there's definitely a feeling of starting something new. Well, you have the Magician, right? And I think that's all I have for you. I think that was actually quite a bit. Looks like a very exciting month. I feel like it's a very busy month. I feel like I have a lot on the go. So for some of you, you might be a tad busier than you have expected to. So allow for pockets of time to relax and rejuvenate, recharge your batteries. That's going to be very important, particularly for those of you who are going to be shoved into the public. You're going to be very busy. Speaking, for some of it's to do with speaking. Okay, I hope this made sense. Let's see what happens in the month of May. I'm also Taurus, so this is exciting for me. Thank you so much for liking, sharing, and subscribing. If you wish to have a private session, because this is general, that information is down below for you. Thank you so much for watching and for putting your trust in me. If this doesn't make sense to you, listen to it at the end of the month, I always say. And if you would like to comment how this affects you or how this connects with you, I would love to read it. Thank you so much once again. I look forward to seeing you again, and good luck.